Greetings, everybody, in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, in the name of the Father and Son and Holy Spirit. Amen. So, I can tell. Very weird to see this young man doing this. And speaking of Father, Son, Holy Spirit, manifesting himself as a Catholic. When those of you who have been following me for many years, you know that I was always speaking against religion and promoting spirituality, which I still do in a certain way. But I was never part of any religion, nor did I even want to be, nor did I even think I would be. Such a thing was impossible for me. But for God, anything is possible. And so, because of Him, now you see me as a Catholic today in front of you. And I cannot hide it anymore or turn away from it, shy away from it. I've kept it as a private thing for quite some time, but there's no need for that anymore. That's just who I am right now, and I want to talk to you about that. What led me to become a Catholic? How in the world could someone like me embrace Christianity and Catholicism? Someone like me who left Islam at the age of 12 and vowed to never belong to any religion whatsoever, especially in the classic sense of the word religion, meaning Abrahamic religions, meaning, in others' terms, a religion based in belief. The Abrahamic religions all seem to be based in belief. Let me take this off. And I was against belief. I was firmly against belief because I wanted to know. I did not want to believe, I wanted to know. I was seeing, or later, I started seeing Osho. He spoke about this exact same thing concerning belief that I also thought of. And later, Yosef ben Yochanan, excuse me, the famous Ethiopian Egyptologist, and a few others. And later I would embrace or be part of the Sadhguru movement, Isha Yoga. So, when did it start? How did it start? I'm going to tell you my story today. Like I said, the age of 12, I left Islam. Well, before getting to that, I was a young boy, grew up in a non-religious family, never been taught or told that we were Muslim. And one day I just some friend of mine in school, I think it was an American guy, American kid. Oh my god, it's very hot up in here. Turn on the AC, man. God damn. Oh, sorry. Had a lot of food and it's hot and I'm feeling a little nauseous. I hope I'll be okay by the grace of the Lord. So, So this boy tells me, I don't remember, but something. Maybe I wanted to have some of his lunch, which had pork or something like that. And I think I was like around 7. It was either 6 or 7. I think. I think it was 7. And I'm like, hey man, can I have some of that? And he's like, no man, you're Muslim. And I'm like, what? What is Muslim? When he when he first said Muslim, I thought he was talking about some food, like some food that's called Muslim. It just sounded like some dry snack, dry sweet snack. Muslim. I don't know why. Even now, even to this day, when I say Muslim, I imagine that we know that we have this traditional Moroccan sweet called sillu or sfouf. It's made from grounded nuts, seeds, and with honey and olive oil. It's not really oily, very slightly oily, but mostly dry, and it's called sillu or sfouf. And every time I said or heard the word Muslim, I would picture this taste in my mouth of sillu, Muslim, sillu. I don't know. It just really, yeah. So I'm like, what is Muslim? And he's like, yeah, go ask your parents. You don't know what Muslim is? You're Muslim. I don't know what Muslim is. Okay, go ask your parents. I go home and ask my dad. He's like, okay, son, come here. Let me sit you down and tell you about what it is. So he tells me, we are considered Muslim. So he never said that he believes or doesn't believe. He just said, we're considered to be Muslim. And here, and I'm like, oh, so we're Muslim? He's like, yeah. And in Islam, like, what does Islam say? Well, Islam says that God created us. And he sent us a book called the Quran and so on and so forth. And I was just fascinated. And he even told me that there's other religions, but he didn't go into too much details. But he told me, yeah, well, we are Muslim. Well, there's Christians and there's Jews, but Islam came after them, and is considered to be the last. I don't remember exactly if he said all these things, but in general, he was explaining to me what Islam is. I was fascinated. First time I'm hearing about the Creator. I don't know who this Creator is, but in my instinct, I I sensed that, wow, God, yeah, it's logical. I did not create myself. My parents certainly did not create myself because they have not created themselves, and we just born out of. I didn't know the concept of sex at the time. I was a very innocent boy actually. I came to know sex as a thing when I was like around 11 or 12. In the beginning, I thought people would just marry. I thought, I was so naive that I thought that if you are not married, you are physically incapable of having a child. And when you do get married, I thought that the man would acquire somehow, I don't know, buy it or something, some sesame seeds, and he would give his wife, and she would eat them, and she would get pregnant. That's how I thought. No one told me these things. My father kind of told me how babies are born without being graphic, and what he said was, well, the man gives the wife the seed, and then she gets pregnant. So I thought the seed was the sesame seed, because that was the only seed I knew. Oh my god, it's so funny. It was very cute. I never knew what sex was. Of course I knew the word sex later, and I thought sex was just rubbing your body against a woman and kissing and hugging. That's it. And that was just done out of love. And when you wanted to make her pregnant, you would offer her the sesame seed, and she would eat it, and she would get pregnant. But you have to be married for that, or else it won't work. that's how that, that's exactly how I believed. Anyway, I was very curious about God. Asked my dad a million questions, nonstop, to the point where he was like, "Hey man, you're too young for this. Go outside. Go have fun with your friends. These topics are too. They're too like they're not of your age. Just they're too serious. Just go have fun." And I was like, I want to know, Dad. I want to know. I don't. I want to know God. I want to know God. And I meant it. I wanted to know God. Whoever this God is, I wanted to know him. So I became the most pious of believers. I was not your conventional Muslim, like you know Muslims today. No, I was my own thing. I was already influenced by the martial arts, the Far Eastern spirituality, meditation, being out in nature, loving animals, loving creation, loving trees, everything. And that's the eye with which I was seeing Islam. And I heard from Islam, from studying Islam, that God also loves animals and trees, and He doesn't like anything to be harmed. So I thought all Muslims were like this, and I was like amazed. Wow, it's such a beautiful thing. Needless to say, I quickly was disappointed because when I looked around, the so-called Muslims were not behaving this way. They were not taking care of the animals. They were not taking care of the environment. They didn't really care much. And a lot of the time they would abuse each other. So, very angry people. Of course, there were exceptions. Very nice people who spoke about God and we should be kind to each other and everything, but that was not the norm. So, after some time, I was 11 and I started questioning a lot, the religion a lot, reading the Quran because I was getting older. And at that age, I was already reading the martial arts, the history of martial arts. And then I came across Buddhism and I was fascinated. But this was not really when I was a Muslim. This was a little bit later, but during these years, I was still considering myself a Muslim. But I was getting into the spirituality of the East, little by little. And, oh, and I just, at the age of 11, I started questioning things and becoming very disappointed with what I was seeing a lot of hypocrisy. And I was reading the Quran too, more and more, from the age of 10. And I came across some verses which told of Allah being the one who chooses who believes and who doesn't believe. And I was like, in my logical mind would be like, if Allah chooses who believes and who doesn't believe, then how can He hold anyone accountable for not believing? And then I go further into some other verses that say, when someone does not believe in God, Allah does not help him come to the truth of God. No, rather he further closes his eyes, his ears, and his heart to the truth and condemns him to eternal damnation in hell. When I read that, I thought, no, this can't be right. Maybe I misinterpreted. I made sure. I don't remember how I made sure, but because I always like to make sure of everything I see or hear. And lo and behold, it was true. Allah did blind those He saw were not believers. And I was like, how can God do this? How can God? Because someone who can't believe, and if he's supposed to believe in God to be saved, wouldn't God want to save him? Why would God want to like prevent him from being saved even more? It's like someone is stuck in a ditch in a hole, and you come and he's like, please help me, or not even, he's just there, and you know he needs help. Whether he knows it or not, you know he needs help because you're not in the hole. And now, instead of looking for ways to take him out, you just bury him in there. That's exactly what Allah does. So that was, for me, that was like the tipping point. I was like, no, this is nonsense. And for me, it was not really a struggle. I was already not I was already a spiritual person. I was not like, oh, I'm Muslim, I should stay a Muslim or else God will. I did not have this fear about me because my parents did not inject me with the fear of if you leave Islam. Actually, I've heard before from other people, if you leave Islam, God will punish you for leaving Islam. And I was like, no, I don't think God is that stupid. I think God knows what's right. And it's not right to follow a religion like this. So even if this God exists and he asks me, why did I leave Islam? I'll tell him, well, you already know. Well, first of all, you already know. And second of all, I can't follow a religion like that. And if you want to punish me, go ahead. Like, aren't you the creator of everything? Why are you asking for my opinion? That's so weak of you. If you're truly the Almighty, why are you asking me, one of your tiny, puny creations, why didn't I believe in you and whether or not I should be punished? You do whatever you want, and you're gonna do whatever you want anyways. So why are you even bothering me? Just go ahead and do what you have to do. That was my attitude, and that was always my attitude. And everyone was shocked when I told them my attitude. Like what? What's so shocking about that? He created you, man. He can do whatever he wants. All you can do is do your best. And this is my best. I cannot be a hypocrite and follow this religion because I see very clearly that it's wrong. If you guys can't see it, hey man, maybe you guys love to live in lies. I don't like to live in lies. I know it's wrong and I'm gonna leave. And let God do whatever he wishes to do with me. I became a pure atheist from the age of 12. And I even told my father. That's when my father was like, yeah, you know what? I don't even believe myself. I was like, what? You're not a believer? I'm like, no, I'm not a believer. Wow, I did not know that about my dad. But okay. And I started studying. Yeah, I think it was at that time, after I left Islam, where I discovered Zen Buddhism. It was not before. It was after. Between the ages of 12 and 13. I think 13. No, not 12. It was not even 12. It was 13. But I was already reading about the history of martial arts since I was 11 and 12. Reading about Bruce Lee's life. I was a huge fan of Bruce Lee. Crazy. Obsessed with Bruce Lee. Had all his films. Learned the nunchaku when I was 10. All of that stuff. So, I was an atheist. And one of the reasons why I loved Buddhism, Zen Buddhism, is because it was known as the religion without a god. So I still loved spirituality. I still felt that there was something deep and transcendental about life, and I wanted to explore that. But the idea of a god was hindering to me, was a hindrance to me. So I love this religion because it has no god. I don't have the mind and the patience to worship anything or anyone. So I embraced Zen Buddhism, which already I felt already very in harmony with, because I loved nature, I loved animals, and I loved meditation. Before even knowing the word meditation, I would just sit in nature and just close my eyes, and I would kind of try to imitate those people I saw in the kung fu movies and Japanese movies with samurai and kung fu people, Shaolin. And I felt, wow, something powerful about that. Didn't know what it was called, And one of the things too, I used to meditate like that, and some people from my family would be like, "What are you doing, Omar?" I didn't know what meditation was or how to express it, so what I would say was, "I'm praying," and they would ask me, "Is that a Muslim prayer?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm just praying. That's just my way of praying to God." And then they would be like, "Oh, that's not a Muslim prayer. God only accepts Muslim prayers." And I was like, "Really? There's a lot of non-Muslims in the world. Like, you think God is not listening to their prayers?" And they kind of got bothered by that. But I think they ended up saying, "Yeah, anyone who's not a Muslim will go to hell. You gotta be a Muslim, and you're lucky to be born a Muslim." And I'm like, "Nah, this sounds a little too easy. Leave me alone." Yeah, I was hard headed, and it was good for good reasons. So anyway, leaving Islam, embracing Zen Buddhism, studying it more and more. Studied it for more than a year, and eventually embraced it as my official way of life. At the age of 14, I was already a Zen Buddhist, practicing everything. I even have pictures of me shaving my head multiple times because I wanted to resemble the Shaolin monks, and practice Kung Fu every day, martial arts every day, and meditate, and know myself, and know nature, and know what is this mystery of life. So at the same time, I was not believing in anything. Yes, Buddhism spoke of reincarnation, but Zen Buddhism does not speak of any belief. If you guys know anything about Zen Buddhism, it was not like, yeah, Zen Buddhists believe this, that, this, that. It was not about believing anything. It was about knowing yourself through meditation. But Buddhism as a thing, of course, everyone knows, goes into some mystical things like reincarnation, where which I felt kind of obliged. Should I believe in this? But I didn't want to believe, so I did not. So I kind of was like, nah, I don't know. You know what I mean? I had too much of a scientific, like conventional science, mind, conventional scientific mind, to to accept anything such as meditation, or sorry, reincarnation. So, at the age of 14, not believing in anything, at the same time, deep down within me, deep inside, I always had this silent prayer to that, the one or that thing which created us all, whatever it is, whatever it was, whatever its name was. And this silent prayer was like, please show me the truth. I am open to know the truth. I don't have any belief. All I want to know is the truth. Please show me the truth. Please show me the truth. Please show me the truth. I will not settle for anything less but the truth. And not through belief, but through it being revealed to me. So one day I was 14, going back from school. It was a Saturday morning, I still remember. I think it was in spring. It was very beautiful weather. 14 years old. My school was pretty far, and I would go there by bicycle sometimes because I would miss the bus. And I also loved to ride my bicycle. And I would always take the same path back to my place. So on that day, I was going to my friend's house. He was in the same neighborhood as mine for lunch. Nabil. His name was Nabil Arash. I have no idea where he is right now. But he was a firm atheist. Him and his dad. And his dad was purely conventional science. Him and his brother grew up purely not believing in whatsoever. Not even spirituality. Not even Buddhism, nothing. He was far more. He was purely materialistic. I heard he even became depressed and even suicidal as he grew up. No, I didn't hear that. Actually, he told me. He told me that like when I last met him last time when we were already adults, he was like, man, sometimes I just want to die. I'm like, why? Like, and he's doing well. He's got a lot of money. He's got amazing cars. But he was always a weird kid. Poor kid. He was always like not interested in girls. He was not gay or anything. Well, as far as we know, he would kind of tell us like he's asexual. Anything that had to do with the heart, anything that had to do with beauty, music, dance, anything that had to do with the heart chakra, love, relationships, he was extremely awkward towards that and would kind of like ridicule that. Like whenever we put on music, he'd be like, what is this? Oh, this is nonsense. What does that even mean? He was just too logical that he could not even enjoy the beauty of life. So of course he could not enjoy love. He could not enjoy. So, but the only little love that he knew was the love of friends. But even between his friends, he wouldn't be like, "Yeah, you're my friend. I love you." Never. It was kind of like friendship for him was like a loyalty thing. Yeah, yeah, you're my friend because you're loyal to me, and we both think we both think alike, and we both can depend on each other, and yeah, ha 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 ha. So the only little thing that was giving him pleasure in terms of relationships was the laughter, was making fun, and most of the time his sense of humor was very sinister. Like he used to beat up cats, kill animals, and just ha 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 ha. Yeah, it's fun, ha. Ha. Completely disconnected and insensitive individual. But we loved him. He was extremely funny, and we loved him. He was our friend. We felt sorry for him when it came to girls and matters of the heart. He was completely shut off. And even as a kid, I felt something was wrong with him. And I knew it was his dad because, of course, I know. Even as a kid, I knew the most influential figure in your life is your dad as a kid, especially as a boy growing up. And his dad was extremely influential. He was very charismatic and very. He had a he had a charisma about him. Like when you saw him, you just felt really ashamed because he was like very arrogant, extremely arrogant, extremely you know, like even if you would say thank you to him, and he would never be like, "Oh, you're most welcome. It's my pleasure." No, he was like, "Okay, go," like very, very. And if someone would dare to tell him, "May God bless you," he would call him out or something. He would be like, "Haha, yeah, whatever. Stop talking shit. Stop talking that shit or something like that." Like he would just say it to your face and in a very kind of smirky and kind of way, very, very intimidating individual, especially as kids when I used to see him. But somehow he was very nice to me. He never, I don't know, maybe because his boy told him that I was also an atheist. He seemed to have a deep hatred of anything spiritual, anything that had to do with God or spirituality. So even though I was atheist, I still admired anything that was heartfelt, anything that was spiritual, that had the sense of spirituality. So, anyway, I was going to his house for lunch, 14 years old, on my bicycle, riding the same way. I would come to this way, I would pass my grandfather's house, who I believe was still alive at the time, down. So there, I would go down and then I would turn right. But the thing is, I would go to the last turn, right, and then I would turn right. You know, but there was another turn right, the right turn, which I never took. And on this day, going back home, I was, and that place is empty. It's very peaceful. It's like very sunny. There's no high buildings. It's all just like houses. It's like the suburbs, you know? Almost next to the suburbs, because that's where my school was. Trees, grass. It's very beautiful. Very, very quiet. Every now and then you would see one car or two cars passing by, especially in those days. Even today, actually, there's not a lot of cars that pass by there. But anyway, I was driving, and as soon as I reached the right turn that was before the last, which I never took before, I would always take the last turn, right? Like I said, as soon as I reached or almost reached that previous turn, right? The first one, sorry. Um, Something spoke to me. Something spoke to me. And the best way I can explain it or describe it was like something was implanted in my head. A thought. Like a voice with no sound. That's just the best way I could explain it. And such a thing has never happened to me up till that day. And mind you, I was a very imaginative kid. I was drawing comic books, inventing stories, and I was always writing stories and writing comic books for my friends to read in class, and we would have a blast, just having so much fun with that. And I would come up with so much imagination. My mind was always imagining things, but this was nothing like my thoughts or my imagination. Even as a 14-year-old kid, I was 1000% sure this has nothing to do with it's not my thought. It came from somewhere, I don't know how, where, I have no idea. This thought, this voice, soundless voice, like I like to call it, told me, be careful. Today, don't take the regular turn that you always do, meaning the last turn right, the last right turn. Today, you're going to take this one, the previous one. So let me just tell you, this voice in my head was so loud. I didn't hear it in my ears, okay? Let me just tell you, I did not hear anything. It's like a thought with a voice in your head. Not a voice audible can hear something. No. My ears didn't hear a thing. But my mind was alerted with this message coming from someone speaking. And it was a wordless speech. It was like an intention directly put in my head. An intention. And that intention said, be careful. Not there. Here. Today. Like that. And then, of course, my mind would put it into words because, we think in words, right? But it was wordless. It was not like, be careful, Omar, today, don't do it. No, it was not like that. It was just like, be careful. No, here. Wow, what is that? It was so powerful that I had to stop my bicycle. I stopped my bicycle. I literally stopped my bicycle. And I stayed there for a couple of minutes, at least, trying to figure out what the hell just happened. What the fuck just happened? I know this is not my thought. I was kind of interrupted. I was imagining things, and then boom, something came from nowhere, entered my mind. That's how it felt. So it was not like me kind of thinking this thought, and then I'm like, oh wow, that's a weird thought. That's a weird thought. Thought to think. Why would I think to not turn there and turn? No. I was kind of in my own thoughts, and this just invaded me. And I was like, okay, what is this? I'm trying to figure out. I have no way to figure out what the hell was going on. After like 3 minutes or so, I was like, man, this is nonsense. Come on. This is not this is not scientific. It must have been just my subconscious. Of course, subconscious, because I studied about it. Someone told me about it, so I had that notion. So I just dismissed it because it was too much for my mind to comprehend. The mind cannot comprehend such things, but I just had to conclude something just to be at peace, right? Because I was going crazy. Like, what the hell just happened? I can't believe what is this? So I ignored it and I continued on my road, on my way. I did not turn the previous right turn. I went on my way as I usually do to the last right turn, to the last turn right. And as soon as I turned that last right turn, a few miles ahead, I'm just pedaling. Sorry, pedaling. Yeah, pedaling, I guess. Not too fast. And there's this group of kids, a little older than me, maybe in 15, 16 years old, at least. And one of them hears me coming and turns around. And as soon as I see him, my heart jumps because I recognize this boy. He's not a friend. He's not a friend of a friend. But my friends from my new neighborhood where I lived, where I just moved there like 4 years ago, one of them told me that's a bad guy. He's a robber. He's a thief. He's not a good kid. He gets involved in bad things. So and I already saw him. He kind of was being threatening to my friend, and he didn't do anything to him, but he was kind of like, I saw my friend being afraid of him when he was with us. So it kind of stuck with me. Like, this is a bad kid. So I see this kid. He turns around and our eyes meet, and I'm like, I try to be cool, and I just go like, I just say hi like that, and so he's like that too, and I just keep paddling, and he tries to grab my bike from behind, and I'm like, what the hell? Just he's trying to, and then I rush. I pedal as fast as I can, and then him and all of his friends are chasing me. You can't make this stuff up. Are chasing me, catch me. One of them takes my bicycle, drives off with it. One of them takes my bag. One of them takes my cap. The other one tries to take my watch, and I'm shocked. You can imagine a kid this happening to a kid, 14-year-old kid, and you feel helpless. Yeah, I was a martial artist. Yeah, but I was just caught by surprise, and I never was in a street fight before. I didn't know what to do, and I did not want to risk anything of mine going away. Like, one of them already took my bike, so they were not attacking me, they were not hitting me, but they were kind of like, it was weird. Like, I was just like, what the hell's going on? Hey man, hey, give this back. So they were not, give us your stuff or else, they were not like that. They're like, hey, take this, hey. And at this point, I was just like trying to take my stuff back. I was trying to protect my stuff instead of myself because I was not in any immediate danger physically. I just didn't want my stuff to be taken away. But I was scared because I didn't know what was going to happen, and they can outnumber me. Some of them were really big and tall. I was far away from home. My bicycle just got stolen. It kind of really destabilized me. And the cap that my brother gave me, and the watch that my father brought me, and my bike that my brother or my dad gave me, I forgot. So I was like emotional and scared and shocked, and what the hell's going on? Hey, 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 give me back my stuff. And I was scared, but I was trying to show them that I'm angry. But inside, I was really scared. Give me back my stuff. Hey, stop. No, give me back. No, don't touch me. And then after a few seconds, I guess, that kid who recognized me was like, hey, man, why are you so scared? We're just messing with you. Aren't we kids? Aren't we guys? Come on, come on. Give him back his stuff. Give him back his stuff. Uh-huh. Now I'm even more shocked. So that was not after a few seconds. Maybe after a minute or two. I have no idea. I did not have any notion of time at the time. So give me everything back. My cap. They were not able to take my watch because I didn't let them. My bag was given back. And then the guy who took my bike, he's already went off with it. And I was like, what about my bike? And he was like, I'll just go up to him and he'll give it to you. And I was like, are you serious? I want my bike, my bike back. Tell him to give my bike back. And I was like, oh, no, really, really, just go up to him and tell him to give you, your bike. And I did not believe him at all. But I didn't have any choice. I couldn't do anything about it. So they already let me go. They gave me my stuff. So I went forward to that guy who had my bike. He was a fat kid, big fat kid on my bike. And I just run to him like, hey man, give me my bike. And he was like, oh yeah, sure man. He got off my bike. Here you go. I couldn't believe it. I got on my bike and I left. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? And I hear that voice again. Telling me, I told you. That it's a very strong thought again in my head. Like, I told you. Next time, listen to me. I told you. I told you to listen. Now you know. So next time you listen to me. And I feel like I'm going crazy. What is going on? Who is talking to me? What is talking? I don't believe in God or angels or whatever. I don't. What is talking to me? Who is this? But of course, I cannot have a conversation with this voice, this thing that's talking in my head. It just talks whenever it wants to, and it leaves whenever it wants to. I go to my friend's place. I tell him what happened, and I'm in shock. I didn't tell him that I knew. I don't remember actually if I told him, because my friend is an atheist. He doesn't believe in all this stuff. I don't remember if I told him. I don't think I did. I was still under the shock of what just happened. That was the first time something you can call transcendental or supernatural, even though I don't like that term supernatural, because everything is natural, but you know what I mean, something outside of the five senses happened to me. Second time something like that happened to me, I was 17 years old. I was coming back from Kung Fu class, also on a Saturday, and this time it was on nighttime. So we finished class, Kung Fu class, at 9, and I'm on my bike again. And I go back home. I have Kung Fu class downtown in Rabat, Morocco. I'm driving back to my place. I'm 17. I'm a bigger kid. So there's this big main road for those who know Morocco, Rabat, called Faoul Omer. Faoul Omer is an Agdal district or neighborhood. Faoul Omer is like the main road, the main big road in Agdal, in that neighborhood called Agdal. We lived in a villa, in a house, in a street called Ukeimdin. Ukeimdin is one of the mountains in Morocco. One of the name of one of the mountains in Morocco, Ukeimdin. So I always go on this main road, And when I get to the intersection with that main road and Ukemden, I would go into Ukemden, which is a small street. I'll drive really fast down that street until the almost until the end, and that's where our house was. So on this night, I was on the main road, Feldomir, and before like two two or three streets before I get to the intersection with my street, this voice talks to me again. The same voice. Be careful. Get off the main road. Don't stay on the main road. Go home, but go home. Go go into the small streets and get home like that way. Don't go home the same way that you do usually. On the change roads tonight. And he was like warning me like this first time. And this time I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna venture again. I'm going to obey this time. I'm gonna do as it says. And I go into the little roads, little streets until I get home. And I get home, I have dinner, I take a shower, and I sleep. Next morning, one of my friends, this girl who I used to be deep, like madly in love with from high school, her name was Melek. Melek meant angel, and I loved her for like 10 years. Couldn't forget about her for 10 years. From when I was a teenager until I became a yeah. So I was like 17 until I became 27. Anyway, uh, she calls me. She's crying. Omar, Omar, Omar. Oh my God, Omar. What, man? Like, what? Are you okay? What's going on? Omar, Ali, Ali. What happened to Ali's dead? What? Ali's what? What are you talking about? So Ali was a kid with us in school, and right before she, like, right before this time, I had confessed my love to Melek because we were friends for like almost a year, like maybe 6 months or something, almost the whole school year. Not yet the whole school year, but almost the school year. Yeah, I think it was almost the whole school year. Yeah. Anyway, around 6 or whatever months it is, 6 or 9 months. I don't know. Anyway, it was a long time, and I just confessed my love to her, and she was so touched, and she was at my house, and she was like, "Oh my God, Omar, I would love to taste the fruit of your lips like that." That's exactly what she said in French. Le fruit de tes lèvres. And as I got closer to her to kiss her, she was like, "But," and I was like, "But what?" And she's like, "I'm already dating someone." Because that day, that very day, when I confessed my love to her, because she was already dating someone else. She never told me about it, but everyone told me. And then that day, she kind of told me, yeah. She told me who she was dating because she was breaking up, because she just broke up with him. So for me, wow, she just broke up. That was my chance. And I was kind of like a good kid, you know what I mean? I would never like confess my love to a girl who was dating someone. I don't know, man. I was older. I was beyond my years. I was never like, oh yeah, come on, she's not really in love with him, like we're just kids, whatever, we're just messing around. No, even at that age, even younger than that, I believed in true love. In fact, I was falling in love with girls in my school since I was 5 years old, maybe even four. I think even three, if I remember. Anyway, I think a lot of kids actually do fall in love or have a crush. You know what I mean? Like a very strong crush. But I felt in love, man. I was in love with this girl, Nicole. She was American in the American school, and I was 9 years old, and she was with us only for 1 year. No, I was with them for 1 year, so I left. So when I left, I was not gonna see her again. So I was like crying my eyes out. My tears were rolling down my face, looking at her picture in the yearbook, and I was 9, and I was like obsessed with her. Everything for me was Nicole. I would sleep at night. I would hold my pillow. Just imagine that it's me and Nicole, kissing her and hugging her. I didn't know anything else. So, anyway, so she tells me that she got so Malak told me that she got with Ali, and she was crying for 2 hours, telling me, I'm so sorry I hurt you. I'm so sorry I hurt you. You don't deserve being hurt. You don't deserve to be hurt. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I was like, dude, if you're sorry, why don't you just leave him and come with me? I told her that. And that was actually true, man. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna like make all this scene and cry your eyes out for 2 hours telling me that you're sorry, like why are you so dramatic, man? Like if you care about me that much, just leave his ass and come to me. No, I can't, Omar. I already gave my promise. You know, she was kind of like those self-righteous people. It's sad, yeah. It's a good thing I didn't date her because she was really messed up, and she became even more messed up later. But she was really sweet, especially when we were kids. She was incredibly charming. Very hard to not fall for her. Everyone wanted her. She was the most beautiful girl in school, and the nicest and the fun and the most fun girl, and she was so sweet and so friendly and everything. And she was like one of the guys, like you can talk to her about anything and she would not get angry. She would just like laugh and whew, anyway. So she told me, yeah, I got with Ali. And Ali was this kid, and he was nice, I knew him. So he was a skater kid. She was a skater kid too. I was not. I was a martial artist. And she had started doing martial arts with us in our school. But that night she was not with us, I think. Yeah, I don't think she no, 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 she was not with us. I don't remember if she was with us in the martial arts school at that time or not, but I don't remember much, but yeah, she was coming, maybe not all the time, but anyway. I knew Ali, he was a nice kid. They would smoke and everything. I was not smoking at that time. I was incredibly healthy. I even stopped eating junk food, fast food at the age of 14. I stopped drinking Coca-Cola and all soft drinks from that same age. And here I was 17 years old, fully trained like a ninja. I could, you know, I even spent a lot of the time, you know, like a monk, you know, not focusing on sex, not focusing on masturbation or anything like that. Just trying to preserve my energy, my chi, eating right, sleeping right, training right. Of course, like everyone, I had my moments of weakness where I would fall down, but then I'd get up again and try it again. I started this no fap thing way before it was famous, because I was studying it through Shaolin Kung Fu, through Buddhism, through Zen, and all this kind of stuff, and it helped me a lot. It helped me de- develop into the person that I am today. So Ali was always depressed. That's what Malak would tell me, and she would be like, he's. I think he even told me because we kind of became little friends after that too. But he was like, his father would tell him, "You were an accident. You were not even supposed to be born." So somewhere he was a little suicidal and depressed. Like he felt like he was not loved by his father. And I don't think he even had a mother. He was a very sad kid. Very friendly, very nice, but very sad. And so when he asked Malak if she can be his girlfriend, she couldn't say no because she liked him. He was a sweet kid and he needed love, He needed love. Even more than I did with all that was happening in his life. So I kind of understood. why she couldn't really dump him and come with me, because she didn't want to push him to kill himself. Well, now she's calling me Sunday morning, crying and telling me Ali just died. What? Just why? What happened? Him and his friends got into this big accident, she tells me, last night, Saturday night, on the main road, the same road that I was coming on, that I always drive on to go home. And I was like, at what time? And she said, so first of all, this accident was huge. A lot of people got hurt. A lot of people got hurt. Like cars crashed into each other. The car that he was in with his friends, and they were all drunk, kind of like rolled. It was like a Jeep or something. And it just rolled. And everyone got hurt and he died. He ended up dying. And I asked her, what time did this happen? And she was like 9:15, around 9:15. That was exactly the time when I remember looking at my watch before going into the little streets. When I got that voice, it was like around 9:14, 9:13, 9:14. And she was like, yeah, it was like around 9:15. That is exactly when that voice told me, be careful, don't stay on the main road. He didn't say why. He didn't say what was going to happen. And he just said, listen, just listen to me. Remember the first time when you didn't listen? Well, this time, listen to me. Don't stay on the main road, go in the little streets. Next day, Malik is calling me, telling me what happened on that main street at that very exact moment when I got that voice talking to me. Guys, I am not making any of this up. Let me just tell you, if you guys, or if anyone out there watching this video does not believe me, I honestly will not be mad at you or hate you or resent you one bit, because I would not believe if anything like this was told to me. This happened to me, and sometimes I even don't believe it. So guys, I'm not here trying to convince you or try to make anyone believe anything. You're free to think the way you do, just like I was free to think the way the way I did. No one came and convinced me of any of this until this started happening to me. It started happening to me. No one told me, or I didn't make an effort to believe. It started happening to me. And a lot of people told me stuff happening to them, and I didn't believe them. So please, I mean, don't think that I would mind anyone ridiculing my testimony, or even calling me a liar. It's okay. It's okay, because you know what? I was there. I would call myself a liar if I was that age, before these things started happening to me. So again, I'm very shocked. What just happened? I remember the voice, because when that voice spoke to me and I went home, nothing happened. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. I listened. Nothing happened. I didn't know what would have happened if I didn't listen. You know what I mean? And I was kind of like curious. Oh my God! Like, what if I didn't listen? Like, what would have happened? I was kind of adventurous, but I was like, no, I don't want to risk it. Come on. The next day, it was confirmed to me. Malik calls me, tells me exactly when that car crash happened, and it was a Saturday night. I mean, and I didn't know these things. I would never go to nightclubs and everything. I wasn't a nightclub guy. I was a very introverted guy, getting home, staying home, meeting my friends, drawing, playing guitar, music, singing, playing video games, practicing my kung fu. That's it. That's all I would do. So, yeah, it was a Saturday night, and people get crazy on Saturday night. I had no idea of that. So, and it does not end there, guys. So, we started talking about religion, right? So, these things are happening, and I'm not like, oh wow, maybe God is real. I don't know who's talking to me. But I'm like, okay, I know someone is there talking to me, directly talking to me, not through someone else, through me. How am I able to listen? I don't know. Let me turn on the light, guys. How am I able to listen? I don't know. I have no idea. And I'm like, I'm not special. Am I special? I don't think so. Anyway. So this was just the beginning. That year, perhaps that year, or even the year before that, I started getting interested in reggae music, through a Nigerian friend that I had in school. And then in high school, at the age of 17, 18, I started researching more and more reggae, more and more about the reggae or the Rastafari religion, spirituality. That was my first introduction to the Bible, because as you certainly probably know, Rastafarians or Rastas get their teachings from the Bible. Haile Selassie being the second coming of Christ. I was not believing in the second coming of Christ or even the first coming of Christ. But I was very touched by the Rasta way of life, the Rasta movement, because of its strong connection with nature. I was also an Aikido practitioner, and the concept of love in Aikido really touched me, overwhelmed me to tears. To tears. And I had started Aikido when I was 15 years old. I had a major spiritual experience at that time. I was transformed. But I lost it because my master at the time, who inspired me so much, just left. And I fell back. I was on cloud 9, okay, when he was teaching me. I became a whole other creature, a whole other beast. I was no longer angry. I was no longer afraid. No one at school would be able to even touch me or attack me. And I would just make them fall with a smile on my face, with love in my heart, shining through like the sun. If you guys don't know the concept and the spiritual teachings of Aikido, I strongly recommend that you look it up. It's immensely beautiful. And that was my first interaction with anything that was Christ-like. Pure love, overcoming evil, overcoming violence, overcoming resistance, and just spreading love. And at the same time, that love would make the evil fall. Just fall. It was too advanced for me at the time. So I very easily fell back and went back to my violent ways, my angry ways. But I was praying and hoping and wishing to get back into Aikido once again. Find my master again or something. My master didn't seem to be around. He had a lot of personal problems that he had to deal with his, I think, his relationship at the time or something. And so, but most certainly, Aikido opened up a whole other dimension for me, and I didn't know what it was, and I wanted something, some sign to know what that is. How did I felt like I was in love? You know when you're like so in love. It's like so in love that you can't even get angry anymore. That you just feel in heaven in every millisecond of your life. You just feel like you're floating through the world. That's how I felt when I was practicing Aikido. Because even before practicing Aikido, I didn't mention these things before, so I know I was speaking about when I was 17. Before practicing Aikido, I was studying Aikido and crying and weeping, sobbing, because I was so touched by the teachings of O Sensei, the founder of Aikido, Morihei Ueshiba, and his closest disciple, Hikitsuchi Sensei, Hikitsuchi Michio Sensei, who was sick at the time, and I was reading these interviews on paper that I would print from the internet. And I was like, God, if you're there, please make a way. Make a way for me to know this art, know this man. Hopefully meet him or someone like him. At the age of 15, I meet my Aikido master that I told you about, the Moroccan, Hanin Sensei, a beautiful man. He was the one who inspired me so much that I was glowing the whole time. He was the one who had problems and who did not continue with us. He even had problems with the association, Aikido association, because his style was not the conventional style. But to me, it was the best, most effective, most comprehensible. So, um, after that, so I was 17. Okay, so we come back to I was 17. 17, I got back to I found a kung fu school when I was 17, so I went to the kung fu school. Anyway, at that time I was going back to Aikido, Kung Fu, Aikido, Kung Fu. And then at the age of 18, I my my mom, who I was in very bad terms with because my parents were divorced when I was 12, and my mom was very abusive because she was bipolar and she's diagnosed bipolar, okay, taking a lot of medicine, and she would switch. One moment she's very sweet and very kind, next moment she is incredibly scary and she's chasing me out of the house and calling me all kinds of names. Sometimes I thought she would kill me. I was scared to fall asleep in my own room because sometimes she would storm in and start threatening me while I was like she would wake me up with her yells and her screams, threatening me, threatening to throw me out in the street, threatening to get the police to come and get me, threatening to do something to me. So I was very damaged by my mom emotionally. So one day my mom told me, "Hey Omar, like this, like she was in one of her nice moods. Hey Omar, there's a nice Japanese cultural day at a university not too far from here. Would you like to go with me?" And I was not even talking to her at that time. I was like, leave me alone, man. I don't want to talk to you. Fucking. But something told me, you know what? Let me just go. I don't know why, but yeah, okay. I don't know why even to this day why I accepted, because I was not talking to her at all. She would come and try to show me something or try to talk to me. I was leave me alone. Don't talk to me. I was incredibly resentful towards her for everything she did to me. Mainly, it was emotional blackmail, emotional abuse, mental abuse. The physical abuse ended when I learned Aikido, and she tried to attack me once, and I gently put put her down gently. She never tried to physically attack my sister. But she calls me. Yeah, you want to go to this Japanese thing? I think I refused at first, and then I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's go. All right, I'm gonna go. We went, and on that day, in the Japanese cultural event, is when I met my second Aikido master, who I'm still in touch with, Mr. Fujita Sensei. And I had no idea at the time, until a couple of months later maybe, that he was the disciple of Hikitsuchi Michio Sensei, which was the closest disciple to O Sensei, which I was reading about since I was 14 years old, and sobbing my eyes out and crying, because I was immensely touched by his words. Because his words was talking about the love, the great divine love that Aikido shines on the world through the practitioners. And he, at the end, when the interviewer asked, do you want to say any last words? And he was like, yes, I would like to invite anyone to come and visit me in my own home. I am sick right now, and I cannot practice Aikido. He was bedridden while speaking. I did not know this throughout the interview. It was only at the end. He was like, I am bedridden. I cannot practice Aikido. I'm very sick, but I welcome anyone who would like to come and visit me, and I can speak to them about Aikido and the spirit of Aikido. Man, when I read that, man, I just fell on my knees and started crying. It even gets me emotional right now, even just remembering it. I remember reading that and I just fell on my knees and started crying. And my prayers, I don't know. I meet Fujita Sensei out of pure coincidence, and he is teaching us at the Japanese embassy for free. You would think that a master like him would charge you a high price. He was teaching us for free. Well, later I discovered that he kicked a lot of people out who were not really there for sincere reasons. But I was not one of the people who was kicked out. I was very close to him. So I meet him there. I'm introduced by this other kid like me. My mom tells me, hey Omar, come, this kid, he does Aikido. And I'm like, oh my God, Mom, leave me alone. And he's like, oh wow, you do Aikido? I was like, yeah, I did Aikido, but I don't really do it now. And, oh man, you should definitely come and do Aikido with us at the embassy. And I'm like, what? Really? You do Aikido there? He's like, yeah. We have a Fujita Sensei. Like, whoa, Japanese teacher. You know, I mean, Aikido, Japanese teacher is like a big thing, right? He's like, yeah, here he is. He's over there. And I saw this man when I first came into that event. He was this middle-aged Japanese man making these calligraphy, writing people's names in calligraphy, in Chinese calligraphy, in kanji. And I did not imagine that he would be the master. So he introduces me to him. Sensei, and Sensei was coming. He was like, oh, you do Aikido? I was like, yeah, Sensei, I did Aikido, but I don't do it anymore. He's like, oh, good. Come join us next Tuesday. I think it was a Tuesday. I was like, what, really? Yeah, come join us. Come to the embassy Tuesday at so and so time. I think it was at 6. I think it was 6:30 or 6. We would train for 2 hours. It was 2 times a week. I think it was Tuesday and Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, and it was like for 2 hours. And it was amazing. I went back home and I just sobbed my eyes out again. I cried. So touched, so overwhelmed. Cried in my garden. That day, on Tuesday, I prepared cookies which I told my second mother, Fatima, who passed away this year. May God rest her soul. Amen. And she made me some delicious homemade special kind of Moroccan cookies filled with date date paste, which I never really tasted before. She made them, and she made them like a boss, man. She made that. She made those cookies like wow. And I filled this box with them. And on Tuesday, I wore like really good clothes, like really nice shirts. Took my gi that I had from the previous master, from the previous school, and I went to the Japanese embassy. Yes, who are you? And I say, hi guys, sorry, my name is so and so. Oh, you're Mr. So and so. Please come in, please. So Fujita Sensei already told them of that I was coming and that they should receive me well. Right this way, sir. Right this way, sir. And I was like, I was 17. Oh, sorry, I was 18 at the time. Wow. Anyway, I'll get it. I went in. Sensei, these cookies are for you as a thank you. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Well, keep them. Keep them for later. Just come train. You can give them to me later. Okay, sure. Trained. After we finished, I went back and I gave him his cookies. Sensei, please, your cookies. Oh, pass them on. Pass them on to everybody. Give everyone cookies. And in my mind, I don't know. I don't know if this was true or if it was just my mind. Watching martial arts movies, growing up with them. Like, I think he's testing me to see if I've poisoned them or not. Being grown up now, I don't think he thought like that because I'm an 18-year-old kid, and I know he felt my energy, that I was really happy and really glad to be there, and I don't think he would. But I don't know. Never really asked him. I should ask him. I don't know if he remembers, but I ended up giving everyone cookies, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, it's so delicious! I love it." Because they were not really sweet. You know what I mean? The dates were sweet, but the filling was sweet, but it was naturally sweet. There was no sugar. So so then I gave the rest to Fujita Sensei. Okay, oh thank you, and so we spoke French with him. So, merci. Okay. Anyway, my prayers were clearly being answered. And I was getting this voice talking to me. Who is this voice? What is this voice? I don't know. So, fast forward. I become a Rasta in 2025. 24, 25. Started having an afro. And at the end of my high school years, got my first dreadlocks. Cut them off after 1 month because I was not strong enough to own them. Got my new dreadlocks at the age of 19, and got into the Rasta way of life. And I started even developing this philosophy or spiritual vision that Rastafari and Aikido must unite because they both represent the same path, the path of love and peace and harmony in the world, joy. And they both. So Aikidoists need that Rasta spirit to know how to live in harmony with nature and just be airy, like how the Rastas say airy, be joyful, and just not be too serious and everything, because martial arts can sometimes become really serious. Just let loose and grow your hair out and be like, yeah, ja. Smoke some good stuff. Just colorful life. But the Rastas also needed a martial art to protect themselves and to not feel so vulnerable in front of Babylon's injustice. So for me, it was like a perfect marriage between the two. I became a Rasta. 2006, So, since I was a very young kid, I'm going back now very far to my childhood. Since I was a very young kid, let me turn this off. Hope it's not making a lot of noise. Uh, yeah. So, I used to have these weird, strange dreams of lions, being surrounded by lions. Most of the time, it was me in a house, and lions were outside trying to get in and eat everyone inside. And as soon as the lion approached me, I would wake up in fear. Well, that changed when I was maybe 14, when for the first time in my dreams, I broke the lion's jaw. And since then, whenever I would dream of lions, they were not attacking me. Even though sometimes I was afraid, they were not attacking me. Come to think of it, I just dreamt of lions. Probably last night or something. I didn't have a dream like that in a very long time. And sometimes I'm ashamed to say that I'm scared in that dream, in those dreams. It's like it's lions laying down in a garden, roaming around, sometimes looking at me very curiously. It sends chills down my spine. And sometimes I would feel very defenseless and hopeless. Oh my God, like I'm in danger. And sometimes I would feel very confident. And one of my teachers, Miss Shirley Ann, from Mrs. Shirley Ann, sorry, from South Africa. She's Afrikaan, white Afrikaan, right? Right, white South African. So we were very close. Even when I finished school, English school, Khalil Gibran school, where she was, and went to the Moroccan high school, we stayed in touch. And when I became a Rasta, we got back in touch. And because she's South African, she knows a lot about African culture and reggae, and we kind of connected. And she also ended up giving me my first Bible, King James version, Old and New Testament, which I cherished for a very long time. And I was reading, not full chapters, but I was reading as much as I can from here, from there, from here. Why do I talk about her? Is because told her about this dream, and she was curiously spiritual. She was not really. She didn't belong to any religion, but she played a part in my spiritual journey. She was always like a guardian for me in my life, even in school. Always trusted me, always believed in me. And when we met and when we were at my place, she started coming to our house, right, hanging out with me, which I thought was really cool. I told her about this dream, and she was like, "You know what, Omar? You know that's how she spoke. You know what? You know what, Omar? Omar." She would be like, "Next time you have this dream, ask the lion who he is, and what is he doing in your dream." Wow, I never thought about that. Just blew my mind. I'm like, "But Shirley, because I would call her Shirley. But Shirley, I don't remember. How will I remember to ask in my dream? Like, I don't know when I'll dream of the lion again, of lions." She said, "Well, just try to remember. And when you do have that dream, ask him in your dream." Wow, that blew my mind. Brilliant idea. I never thought about that. Because every time I'm in that dream, I can't think like to ask or like what. I'm just thinking, oh my God, a lion is in front of me. I have to run away. What are they doing here? A lot of lions. Sometimes two, sometimes 10, sometimes like the whole garden is full of them. So in 2000, so this was in 2006, yeah, the beginning of 2006. in the middle of 2006, suddenly I get this dream. I'm in a place like a palace with stairs leading up to the palace. Some palace. Looked like an Ethiopian palace or something. Stone. Everything's stone. And a lion was walking down the steps coming towards me. And we were outside. This was not inside the palace, this was outside. And the sun, and it was sunny. And I just stood there, and the lion was coming, like not coming like at me, but just walking towards me. Wow! And then I suddenly remembered in the dream, I am dreaming. I am dreaming of the lion again. Let me ask him. Wow! I can't believe it. I remembered. That's exactly how I felt when I remembered. I was in the dream and I remembered what Shirley told me. I was like, I'm going to ask him. I'm going to ask him. I'm going to ask him. The lion coming closer, and I'm like, I open my mouth. Who are you? Like, I always see you in my dreams. What are you doing in my dream? Like, who are you? And the lion stopped, sat on his hind legs, and looked me straight in the eyes, and opened his mouth, and spoke to me for the first and the last time. And what he said changed my life forever. I can't keep this to myself. This is what he said. He opened his mouth because I asked him, who are you? He opened his mouth and he said exactly these words. I am the Almighty God. When he said that, I just I couldn't speak. Something just overtook me. I was shocked, but in a good way. Not feared, not afraid. And I woke up. And when I woke up after that dream, the energy that I was feeling in my life, the confidence, the clarity of mind was like none other before that. None other. So, again, I swear by everything and anything, everything that I hold dear and holy in my life, that I'm not exaggerating one bit about these stories. This is exactly what happened in my life. And again, not obliging anyone to believe in it. I'm really not. Please feel free to not believe anything. In fact, you know what? I don't want you to believe it. I don't want you to believe it. Because you can take it into consideration, but I'm not trying to make anyone believe in anything. I can only tell my side of the story. I know it sounds ridiculous. I know it sounds fake. I know it sounds impossible. I know. Whatever you do with it is your business. Because my business is just to tell my story the way it is. That's it. Your business is your business. I'm not here to try to convince anyone of anything. I can't. I can't. Who am I? I'm not God. But I'm sure that if you keep yourself open enough, that the Almighty will show you things that only you can see and only you will know, because they will be verified and verifiable in reality, in day-to-day life. And that's when you will have your proof. At that time, you won't have to believe. You will know. I was praying to God to give me knowledge, to show me the truth. And He did. He kept His promise. He kept His side of the bargain. And He even guided me to tell me, be careful. Do this, don't do this, go here, don't go here. And I wasn't always the best listener, but I try to be as much as I can. And I pray that He may guide me and continue to guide me and never give up on me. So I'm sorry guys, I know that this video is very long. I myself am starting to get really tired. I don't know, I don't want to do a part 2 and everything like that. I want to just do one story. And by the way, I'm actually thinking of writing a book about my life since my birth and up till now. Half of my life, almost half a decade of me on this planet. What I've learned, what I've seen, what has been revealed to me, what has been manifested in my life, what I have seen with my own eyes. So at this point, I'm spiritual, and I consider, yes, there is an Almighty, there is a God, but it's not the same God as Islam or whatever. You know what I mean, or even I don't know. I knew there was a powerful being, intelligent beyond us, who's guiding us and who's protecting us and who's watching over us, but I didn't know the nature of this being, except for what I was seeing in my visions and my dreams, and that's all I had. So I start, with the Rasta opened me up to mystical aspects of life. Became vegetarian. A vegetarian diet makes you more sensitive to energy, makes you more receptive to anything spiritual, makes you more receptive to grace. So after these experiences started happening, and then later I started having telepathy experiences with very close friends, with lovers too. And I always thought, is it really? I don't know if it's just a coincidence, or is it really? Is it really? And one day, I had my confirmation. I had a friend living with me from Cameroon. At this point, I was living alone. This was in 2008. I was living alone. Met this wonderful, amazing brother from Cameroon, and we became very close friends. Asked him to move in with me because he needed help, and I was open to help, and he became a true friend, the truest of truest friends that I've ever known in my life. He lived with me under the same roof, in the same room, not even the same house, the same room, because it was cold and we would share a room, so that the room could be warmer. And I also did not have the furniture to give him another room. So instead, the other room that I had in my place, we rented it out to other people. Anyway, what was that? One day, his name is Cyril. Cyril. I don't know how to say it in English. Cyril in French. He was older than me, shorter than me too. Also a martial artist, also very interested in spirituality and mysticism. Learned a lot from him, and he learned a lot from me. One day he goes to the north part of Morocco in Tangier, and he stays there for some days, and I talk to him. I think he went there once and came back, and this was the second time. And this time I'm talking to him on the phone. He's supposed to come the next day. And I were talking, and then I'm like, hey man, you know what? I want to ask you, man, could you get me some cannabis from there? Because I was also smoking cannabis, Moroccan cannabis, very clean, very organic, and it also contributed for my to my spiritual growth, spiritual journey. Even though at times I would abuse it, but I asked him to bring me some cannabis. He said okay. He made a little joke, saying, "Oh, aren't you ashamed to ask me who's like older than you?" I'm like, haha, sorry. Yeah, sure, man. Yeah, no worries. I got you. I'm gonna, yeah. I have a friend who smokes cannabis. I'm gonna see him tomorrow morning before I catch the bus back to Rabat. I'll get some for you, and I'll ask him where he gets it, because over there it was very cheap and very available in Tangier. Okay, thank you. So we were talking at night. I just spoke to him, and we went to sleep. So I'm sleeping, and I wake up as though a thunder hit me. I never woke up that way in my entire life. I was sitting like I woke up like this. My eyes never open up like that. Even when I put on the alarm, I don't wake up like that. I had no alarm. There was no noise. I felt like like an electric shock woke me up like this, and I stood. I was seated upward, like like that. I was laying down and I just jumped up. And what I can see in the vision of my mind, a whole scene of Cyril being arrested and beaten by cops for being caught with cannabis. And I'm half asleep, man. I just woke up. I didn't even have time to yawn or scrub my. I was fast asleep, and then I just boom. And I see this vision, and I don't know what to think or how to think, what to believe, what not to believe. I just know what I'm seeing and what I'm feeling. And I immediately take the phone and I try to call Cyril to tell him, please, all I want to say to him is, please don't bring me the cannabis. All of a sudden, I feel so much regret as to why I asked him to get me cannabis. I call him. The phone rings and then it goes off. I send a message. Cyril, please don't bring me the cannabis. Just forget about it. Just come back. Just please come back. Just forget the cannabis. Please forget the cannabis. I try to call again. His phone is off. And I see the vision over and over again. Being caught by police, beaten up. I see the vision. And friends come over that day. Hey man, where's Cyril? Did he arrive yet? No, he didn't arrive. And I told him the dream. Oh man, come on, don't think like that. But I told him, yeah man, I think it's not an ordinary dream. No man, don't worry about it, man. Don't worry. I'm sure he's alright. He'll be here in the afternoon. In the afternoon, he was not there. More friends came asking, hey man, how you doing? Where's Cyril? He's not there. Here's what I dreamed. No man, come on, don't think that way. Come on. I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure he's just stuck somewhere and his phone is off. I'm like, man, this vision, man. No, of course, no one believed me. Of course, I didn't believe me. So he didn't come that day. He didn't come the next day. He didn't come the day after that. He didn't come that whole week. My friend Cyril didn't come for 2 weeks straight. and my friends would ask like, where is he, where is he? And at that time, they were like, they stopped asking because they were like, we don't know what's going on. Did he just leave? But I was telling them, guys, I know what I saw. I know what I saw. And I don't expect you to believe me. I know what I saw. After 2 weeks, I'm at home sweeping the floor on a Sunday morning, on a Sunday afternoon. And lo and behold, Cyril comes up the stairs and he looks at me and smiles. And I just drop the, what do you call it? The broom. I run to him and I hug him so hard. Cyril, you okay? Cyril. And I look at him, and he had this sad smile. Like a smile that said, I miss you, and I've been through so much you cannot imagine. It was a broken smile. And he was not talking, and I told him, Cyril, don't talk. Please let me tell you something. That morning, when you were supposed to come, I saw this, I saw that, I saw this, I saw that. And I still remembered the time I woke up with that electric shock. When I tried to call Cyril and I sent him the message, it was like 8:13 a.m. I still remember it very clearly. And I told him the time, 8:13. And I saw this vision, and I had this urge to tell you, please don't bring the cannabis. All of a sudden I felt so worried for you. I didn't feel worried when I asked you for the cannabis. I didn't feel worried when I went to sleep. I woke up shocked at that specific time, 8:13. Just to call you and to tell you, please don't bring the cannabis. Please, 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 and please forgive me. What happened, Cyril? He told me, Omar, everything you saw in your vision happened. Around 8 a.m., I go to see my friend. I stay with him for about a quarter, like 10 to 15 minutes. Hence 8:13. And as I'm leaving, because I got cannabis from him, as I'm leaving, the cops bust into our house, into his house, catch him and catch me, and find cannabis with me, so they take me to jail. And boy, Omar, they beat the shit out of me. He said, if I was not a martial artist, I don't think I would have survived. I was on the floor, and they would repeatedly kick me as hard as they can in the stomach. My eyes filled up with tears, and I couldn't stop apologizing to him. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It was my fault. I'm so sorry. At this point, I'm not even thinking, wow, I knew that all by myself. I didn't care about that. I was just so worried for him. I told, yeah. I don't even think we told our friends. You see, I was right. That vision I had, no. I just forgot about it because I was so happy that he's back, and I was so sad for what happened to him. That I didn't even speak about it. I think I told one friend, you see, I told you I had that vision and this is what happened. I don't remember. So, things like that. Fast forward, 2011. Another thing happened to me, very strange. I'm sleeping. I have this girlfriend whose father has cancer. She's from another city. I never saw her father. Never even saw his picture. She never even described him to me. The only thing she told me about her father was he has prostate cancer. And I was trying to help him through her, telling her, please try to find him some cannabis oil and do this and do that. So she found the cannabis oil that she can, but it was not medicinal. And when she gave it to him, he asked her, "Who told you to give me this?" And she told him about me, and he was very touched. And so he knew about me, and I knew about him, even though we never saw each other physically. After a little bit, me and that girl kind of lost touch. She was going through a lot in her life. She was living in another city. We didn't speak for at least a month or two. And one day, I'm dreaming. I'm in my so at this point, I rarely dream. I rarely dream unless it's the dream of the lions or some dream showing me something. I don't know. I dream of this man, and as soon as I see him, I know it's her father, even though he doesn't tell me. I don't even know his name. I don't even know what her father's name is. It's just a deep knowing that, yeah, I know you. I recognize you. You're her father. It's a weird feeling. He didn't tell me I'm so and so's father. I just knew he was. And he came and he said, "Hey, my son, I just came to say thank you. Thank you so much for trying to help me. You know, God bless you," and all these things. But sadly, my time has come and I have to go. I just came to say goodbye and I just came to say thank you. And I'm not talking, I'm just looking at him. And I can see him physically, how he looks. And he just leaves. And I wake up. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? Was that her father? No, I'm sure he's all right. Come on, oh, no. Because I had this deep conviction that he just passed away. Like, but my mind is trying to fight it. Come on, man, don't think like that. Come on, don't be mean, man. Like, I'm sure he's okay. You gave him cannabis oil. Like, why wouldn't he be okay? Well, it turns out it was the wrong cannabis oil, bro. Oh my god. Anyway, that same morning, her auntie calls me, who lives in the same city as me and who I met. Oh, sorry, she doesn't call me on the phone. She talks to me on Facebook because I got on my computer on Facebook because at that time there was no smartphones. This was in 2011. She tells me, "Omar, do you know that so and so's father just died? Just passed away?" And what shocked me the most was I was not surprised at all. It's like I already knew. I did already know. But how and why did I already know? I had no idea. That's what shocked me. How did I know? How did I see him in my dream? How did he spoke to me? He told me, "Thank you for trying to help me." There was no one else at that time, nor perhaps in my whole life, that I was trying to help like that. And he came and said, "Thank you so much, but I have to go," and I just came to say goodbye. And she just told me that he passed away. "Do you know about this?" And I said, "Yes, I do know about this." She didn't ask me how, and I didn't tell her how. After about a month, I spoke to his daughter, who was my ex, and I told her what I saw in the dream. And when I described to her the man that I saw in my dream, she could not believe it. She told me that you just described exactly how my father looks. And she knows that she never told me about how he looks. Why would she? She never had any reason. And we didn't date for that long. And she never showed me a picture of him. The only thing she told me is that my father is sick and he's in the hospital and he has prostate cancer. That's the only thing she never said how tall he is, how short he is, what color of hair does he have, what haircut, what facial hair, what if he wears glasses or not, and if he is fat or thin, everything I saw in the dream. And when I told her, she was like, "My God, that's exactly what." Anyway, I couldn't comprehend what was going on. What are you trying to tell me, God? It's one of your games, one of your. What lesson should I learn from this? What is this? I can see dead people now in my dream. 2012, next year. Fatima's mom, Fatima, the lady, my mother, the spiritual mother who raised me, her mother, I saw her mother, who I knew very well and who knew me very well, in my dream. Same thing. She came to me and she said, "Hey, my son, thank you so much for being there and for knowing me and for gave me. She blessed me and everything. She said, I just came to say I have to go and I just came to say goodbye." Same thing, almost same thing, except thank you for trying to help me because I was not trying to help anyone at that time. And I wake up and I'm like, again? What is happening? What is going on? And at this point, I did not believe in any afterlife. I did not know what happens after death. I did not know what I believe and what like I said, I refuted every kind of belief in my, ever. And then I see people in my dream telling me goodbye, and the very next day, someone from their family confirms to me that they just passed away. That same person. Guys, please, if you think I'm trying to convince you or make you believe, you are free to leave right now or before. If you have, that's okay. I can only tell you my story the way it is. I'm honestly not trying to tell you, yes, you have to believe in this, it happens. I know it happens because I've seen it. But I won't hold anyone accountable or blame anyone for refusing to accept that these things do exist. All I ask from you is to take these things into consideration. I just want you to hear stories like mine, not to believe in it, but just to take it into consideration. Oh, I heard someone speaking about a certain experience that he had like this, like this. I don't know if it's true, but I heard him speak about it. That's all I want from you. That's all I want from you. I'm honestly not trying to make you believe this or that. I'm honestly not. No matter what religion you're from, atheist, non-atheist, whatever. So, and the mother of Fatima, I didn't see in 6 months, nor did I hear anything about her in 6 months. I knew she was old. I knew she was kind of getting tired, and she was not in the hospital. She was at home. I know she was kind of walking with this thing because she had broken her hip. That's all I knew. This experience, these two experiences, happened more later, and telepathy happened more. And I can't go through each and every one of them. I'm thinking of writing a book about these things, about my life with these encounters and with these things, and my spiritual journey, if you will. So now I see God. Who else could it be? Showing me that afterlife exists, and that when we die, we are not actually dead. I saw it with my own eyes. Because I guess I kept a pure heart and asked God to please show me the truth, and I'm open to the truth, and He showed me the truth in installments. Even when He showed me in installments, I had a hard time believing them, accepting them. So God truly is the wisest. His wisdom surpasses everyone's. He knows that He cannot come and dump the truth on you. Even you guys who say, "Oh yeah, if God exists, why wouldn't He just come and reveal Himself?" And because He knows you're not ready for it. He knows you're gonna freak out. He knows you're gonna freak out. A lot of you might even commit suicide because you think you've completely lost it. God knows what He's doing. When you start to show God that you have an openness to know the truth, He will reveal Himself to you little by little, until you can take the fullness of who He is. And this is where I come to my end of the story. I was going through a hard life after COVID. In the first year, 2020, 2021, even 2022 maybe a little bit, things started to appear like they're going good. Well, they're all right. But immediately everything went down. Everybody started becoming very devilish, very negative, very toxic around me. I started losing friends left and right. I started losing love, relationships. Had my heart broken more than I can handle. My life was full of sorrow. My life was full of pain. My life was full of misery. Even though I had happiness, but I was not fulfilled in my life. And every time I tried to help anyone or tried to do something good to someone, I would get punished for it. And I couldn't bear it anymore. And I didn't know what to do. I did not know what to do. I couldn't see a future in my life. I couldn't see a future anywhere, neither professionally or relationship wise, or even in my own country, Morocco. I did not know what 8 months ago, about 8 months ago, a bit more than that, that same voice that was free, occasionally visiting me in my dream, in my life, came back and told me, "Hey, man, go to church, go to church mass." And I was like, "Really? Why? Go to church mass." He would never say why. He would never say why. He just comes and says, do this," and I know why I'm telling you. Just you don't have to think about it because I know that your thinking is flawed. If you think about it, you will come to a false conclusion. So don't even try to think about it. Just do what I say. You trust me at this point, right? And I'm a very hard-headed person. Even though I went through all of those spiritual, because I told you, I'm being honest when I say, even though they happened to me, even I find it hard to believe. Even I find it hard to believe, even though they happened to me. So sometimes I would think about them and go, I don't know. Now this voice is telling me, "Hey man, go to church." So mind you, 1 year before this, I thought about my mom. Because my mom, she's not married, she's alone, and she doesn't see many people, and I feel very bad for her. And I'm like, I just had this feeling like, I think if my mom became a Christian, she would become a happy woman. She would find a nice community of people, and she believes in God, but she doesn't really believe in God in a specific way. But I'm sure she can adopt the Christian beliefs, and. So I started telling my mom, even back then, "Mom, hey, why don't you go to church one day? Like, I'm sure it'll be nice." Like, I don't know, She's like, "I don't know, I'm not Christian." I'm like, "Yeah, just try to go. I'm sure it'll be nice. Apparently people are nice there." And my mom is like westernized and stuff, and so the churches in Morocco are mainly, they're for the foreigners. They're not for Moroccans. So it's usually foreigners who are there. You don't usually find Moroccans there unless they're well camouflaged. Morocco is not that country which has religious freedom. So if anyone practices anything other than Islam, they have to be very discreet about it. I know, because I grew up as a Buddhist, as a Rasta, and going into mysticism. And I didn't mention I went into yoga. I went to India twice, practiced yoga deeply and extensively, just to try to understand the mystical aspect of life. And it helped. So you can hear more about that in my book, in my later book, which I will eventually write. But so I told my mom that I was thinking about that, and I think my mom would be good in church, and I think it'll just be good for her. I think it was just like that. then God started telling me, you have to go to church. Why would I go to church, God? Like, come on. Go to mass. Just go to mass. He just kept repeating, go to mass, just go to mass, just go to mass. I missed the first mass, the first Sunday of the first week. The second week I was thinking maybe I would go, but I had friends over. And I'm like, okay, you know what? And the voice continued. And I'm like, you know what? I followed you and I obeyed you, and you know better than I. Like that song, you know better than I. That song always made me cry, by the way. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be humble. I'm gonna do what you say. I don't know you. I don't know who you are, but I know you've been there all my life, and you helped me. Clearly helped me. I'm gonna do this. So after the third week, I didn't tell anybody about this. I dressed up. I took a shower first. I dressed up, tied my hair because I had long hair, and went on my way to church mass. And when I went in, and I sat there and heard the preaching of the priest speaking about love, about humanity. He was not speaking about the Christian faith. He was not speaking about belief. He was not speaking about anything like that. He was speaking about the goodness of the heart. He was speaking about what Jesus truly taught the world. That we should love one another, to help one another, that it doesn't matter what religion we're from. And the architecture was grand, and the sun was coming through the colored glass art, and the singing was enchanting and angelic. And I couldn't stop my tears, to the point where my shirt was drenched in my tears. I felt like I was born again. I came out from that church barely able to speak. Since then, I've been going to church every Sunday. Every Sunday. I've missed only 2 since that day. One was because I was very sick. I couldn't get out. Second one is because I slept way too late and I couldn't get up in the next morning. Other than that, every Sunday and even during the week, I would go to church. Not every day of the week, but whenever I can, I would go to church mass and during the week. And ever since that day, my life has taken a 180 degrees turn in the positive way. Hope started to come back into my life. Relationships, beautiful relationships started to form. Doors started to open in my life. 4 months after going to church in Morocco, I got the opportunity to come to Thailand. Now I'm living in Thailand, on my way to get a long-term visa to stay here. Life has not been easier. It came with a lot of challenges, but with a lot of blessings, equal amount of blessings. And ever since I started going to church the first month, I knew I wanted to get baptized. And I told my father about it, and he said, "You're crazy. What are you talking about? I thought you were going to church just because you like the atmosphere." Like, no, Dad, I belong here. Because I finally feel like I came back home. I found a community, I found a family that I never knew I had. I grew up without a community, without a family. Even my own family was broken. I found faith in the Son of God, who is love incarnate. And I'm a firm follower and a believer of love. So there's no reason why I wouldn't follow the example of Jesus Christ. For all of these reasons and more, I'm proud to say today that I am one of his disciples, and there's no way I'm turning back. There's no way. This is until my last breath. Because the more I look into this, the more I study this, the more blessings and the more truth and the more conviction and the more clarity of mind and of heart I receive. How can I turn my back on the one who was sent to us, sent to die for us, because he loved us so much? And his teachings are on so many different dimensions. If you want a beautiful story, his story is immensely beautiful. If you want mystical teachings, his story has those mystical teachings. If you want a story that will comfort you from the pain of the world, his story will immensely comfort you. If you want a story which is coded in deep messages, which will give you incredible philosophies on life, practical methods, practical philosophies or practical ways on how to live the best life and how to create the best kind of society, Jesus Christ, the story of Jesus Christ has it. If you want to find the deepest and the most profound and transcendental relationship with the divine and with God, and the most incredible and beautiful love that you've ever lived throughout your life, Jesus Christ will fulfill that for you. No matter from which angle you come to him from, he will give you that you need. Jesus Christ is my guru. Jesus Christ is my king. Jesus Christ is my God. Jesus Christ is my savior. Jesus Christ is my friend. Jesus Christ is my brother. And I love him immensely for everything he has done to us and he continues to do to us and for us. And he has purified my heart from all that fear and resentment and anger that was eating me from the inside, consuming me. In him I found refuge. In him I found peace, incredible and profound peace like none other. And you see that transcendental experience that I had with Aikido, with the experience from reading about the experience of the founder of Aikido, with the divine love that showered upon him and made him reach enlightenment to obtain or to discover Aikido through that experience. That overwhelming experience that I've had that was like none other, that came and left because I did not know how to maintain it. I found that and more in the person of Jesus Christ. And it does not go and come and go. It came and it stayed, and it has not gone anywhere since that first day that I attended Mass. That peace and that joy and that love akin to the one that I've experienced through Aikido in a much powerful sense has descended upon me and has not left me since that day. Now I await the day where I can be baptized. Finally, now I am living outside of Morocco And now I can, because in Morocco the churches cannot baptize you. The government does not give them the right to baptize any Moroccan, because we as Moroccan are supposed to be officially Muslim on paper. But my heart is not a paper. My heart is a living entity, and my heart is connected to the Most High. And the Most High gave me the path that takes to Him, that leads to Him, and His Son who died for us on the cross. And I'm not going to abandon this way of life, and I'm going to preach it and share my story and share my testimony so that everyone can hear about it and come to the truth. And I know and I'm sure that after you hear my story and that you open yourself to the possibility of truth, to the possibility of the Creator touching you in His own way, in your own life, I'm sure that you will see the miracles and you will see the signs and will have Him communicate to you directly if you are able to listen attentively, if you are not too quick to jump to conclusions in your mind, if you are open-minded enough and not biased about, oh, science, oh, this is not scientific. Just keep your mind open. You don't know everything in the world. Nobody knows everything in the world. We are very ignorant creatures. It is the most humble of us and the most attentive and obedient of us who will have the chance to have grace be showered upon them and see the truth with their own eyes. And it shall be verified in reality for you. You will not feel like you're just hallucinating. Like that, like those dreams I had of people who just passed away. If all it was dreams, I would think I'm hallucinating. But it was confirmed the very next day by someone in my daily life from their family, telling me this person just passed away, man. You gotta come to the funeral. Have you heard? Have you heard that they just passed away? And my answer was always yes. They never asked me why. I never told them why. But now you know why. This is why I follow Jesus Christ. And this is why I'm not leaving this way. Now my dream is to be baptized. And unfortunately, in the church, people don't usually baptize before 1 year, or maybe even 2 or 3 years. And I'm in an awkward position with the priest who I'm studying with. He feels I'm ready to be baptized. But when some other people have heard the news that I'm wanting to be baptized, they're kind of going against it, even though they don't know my story. And they're trying to be like, no, that's not right. He should know what he's getting himself into. He hasn't studied enough. Let me ask you guys, do you think I've studied enough? Do you think I'm studied enough in order to be welcomed into this family? The family of Christ? Or do you think I need to study more? Or do you think that in my case it was not really about studies, but about being touched by the Holy Spirit Himself, being revealed things directly? I'm not trying to act superior to anyone or special. I can only tell my story. This is my story. It's also for this reason that I wanted to share my story. Because in my case, and I hope that the church can hear similar cases and similar stories of people. Because one thing that I really love about the Catholic Church is that it takes into account personal, spiritual experiences and does not refute them, but takes them in as part of its tradition. I have come to know Christ and the contents of the Bible even before reading those passages in the Bible. Like 1 Corinthians 13, the hymn of love. I was speaking very similar words before I even read it. And then one priest told me, hey, you're speaking the same kind of verse that's found in the Bible. I'm like, what are you talking about? And when he showed me 1 Corinthians 13, I began to cry. Because that was the first time I read it in the Bible. I've never even read Corinthians. I remember I read a little bit of Revelation, Leviticus, not even the Gospels, not even John, Mark, Matthew, Luke. This is my story. This is how I came to God. Or this is how God came to me, because I remained true and open to Him. Now let me ask you, viewers, do you think that I am worthy or ready of being baptized? Or do you think that I should go through teachings, more teachings, biblical teachings, teachings about the church? I love learning about the church, about Catholicism. But I feel that my heart is already in there. People who don't know me and who don't know my life will naturally judge by the amount of time since I started going to church 8 months ago, almost 9 months ago, 8 months and a half ago, almost. And say, yeah, it's not enough. But Easter is around the corner, and I'm hoping to receive baptism this Easter. I cannot express the joy and immensity of blessings whenever I imagine myself being baptized on that day. I think it is my destiny. I know it is my destiny. I know it is what God wants from me. And I know it is what my heart yearns for. And I know that not only I am already ready, but that I have been made for this. And my entire life has been a preparation. Not only 8 months, my entire life has been a preparation for meeting Christ in my life. This is my testimony. Thank you so much for listening. I'm very tired right now. I spoke a lot, but I'm finally finished with the video. I hope the sound is clear for you all. I'm sorry for my camera. I don't have a good camera, but hopefully when I earn enough money, I'll be able to buy a good camera and make better videos for you guys. Thank you so much, and please share this video with anyone that you like, with anyone, friends, family, even strangers, even people who you want to share testimonies with from other people. And tell me what you think. Please share your own testimonies with me, with us, in the comment section. And I invite you even to make a video if you can, and share with the world like I did. I hope this video can inspire you to come out and speak about your own story with the encounter of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Ever since I knew Him in my life, I become immensely happy. I grew up with so much pain, with so much sorrow, with so much heartbreak. And I cry every time, and I talk about Him. because the tears that he causes me to have somehow end up washing my soul and purifying my heart. Somehow I feel like he has baptized me already in my own tears for him. Because ever since that day that I went to Mass, I cannot stop crying every time I speak about him. Because I'm overwhelmed. Some people might think that I'm just being emotional. I'm touched by something transcendental. I'm living it directly. And when you do have this experience of the transcendental, it is something that you cannot express with words. When you are face to face with something that cannot be expressed in words, tears naturally happen. It is like being immensely in love with someone. And then someone comes to you and asks you, please tell me what you think of this person. Why do you love this person so much? Do you think you'll be able to open your mouth and say, well, I love this person so much because... If you're able to speak that way, you have not truly known love. You have not truly known what it is to be in love. You are not truly living in love. When you are living in love, moving in love, standing in love, falling in love, you will not be able to open your mouth. Just like I find it extremely hard whenever someone tells me, how did you become a Christian? How did someone like you become a Christian? I want to hear the story. What happened so that you became a Christian? Every time they ask me this question, before I'm able to open my mouth, I begin to cry. I begin to have tears in my eyes. My tears start turning red. Because that's how much he has touched my heart and saved me by showing me his love, his grace, and by being an example for how to live and how to be, and has prepared me throughout my life to see so many things in my life, so that finally I can come to accept him at the end. Me, who has spent so many years mocking, ridiculing, and insulting even Christianity, even Jesus, even though I respected Jesus. But Christians and the Christian way of thinking and all these things, I was ridiculing. Like, what is this? Is nonsense. In fact, before I was called to go to church, I was preparing myself to make a video to ridicule Jesus and to discredit him as being God and the Son of God, and that his story is actually not true. I was preparing myself for that, and out of nowhere, I was called to go to Mass. And every time I wanted to make that video, something interrupted me. And I just had to go to Mass. Everything was over since I went to Mass. I'm thankful that this video has not stopped. It's going to be a long one. I don't even know how long it is. So much to say, as you can see. Guys, I thank you all for watching my video. And as you guys know, my name is Omar, but I have adopted a new name since I've accepted Christ, and I've chosen. I felt a very big affinity with the name Daniel because of what the prophet Daniel represents in terms of his faith, in terms of his trust in the Lord, and in terms of his story with the lion's den. Because that's how I felt every time I had that dream with the lions surrounding me and not attacking me, even though I was scared to death sometimes. But somehow was always safe around them. And I even ended up hearing one of them answer me and telling me that he is God Almighty, the Almighty God, the Almighty God of creation. Guys, this is my story. I don't know what to say. I did not write this. I did not imagine this. This is exactly my story. Everything I told you is 100% true. I did not exaggerate anything. And I did not downplay anything. It is exactly that way. It has these events in my life have happened exactly the way I told you. So now I still preserve my name Omar, so now I call myself Omar Daniel. You can look me up even on Facebook, Omar Daniel Sheckley. And I'll eventually change my YouTube name from Omar Sheckley to Omar Daniel Sheckley, or maybe just Daniel Sheckley. And I love my new name, Daniel. I feel more like Daniel now than I feel like Omar. I was Omar all my life, but Daniel speaks more to my soul and to who I am as a follower of the Most High and a disciple of Jesus Christ. Guys, once again, I thank you very much for sticking by or staying until the end of this video. And please consider subscribing if you like this video. And I have more videos on my channel that you can check, and let me know what kind of content you guys want, because I want to be making more videos, and I want to make better videos, and I want to share more things with you. So please let us get to talking. I thank you very much. God bless you. Go in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. May you all be safe by His grace and by the grace of His Mother, Holy Queen, the Virgin Mary. Take care, guys. Godspeed.